Hello, welcome to the video. This is my shorts channel. My name's Agent00sonic. You know this already. I'm doing a compilation and a deep dive of the day 11 through day 20 for my 200 drawing prompt book. If you are watching this video by the time of release, it should be on day 58. I'll put a little asterisk here whenever all of it comes out. Anyways, let's get started. We did day 1 through 10, and the video is going to be about here. The purpose of these are essentially going through each short and giving my in-depth thought. Now, granted, some of these look a little bit different because I may or may not have done small changes to them after I finished. For example, this one here was day 11 and it was lightsaber. If you notice, it's kind of hard to see because I did the following day with marker and I didn't know it was going to bleed through. If you watch the short, it's nice and crisp, but I did like death laser thingy and hilt of death laser thingy. I was trying to do one of those breakdown of the, I guess, thing that I was creating. So like a blueprint kind of sort of thing where it shows like an exploded version of whatever it is. And then it has like, you know, the bar that tells what it is. I liked it. I picked Mace Windu. Samuel L. Jackson portrayed that character. Lightsaber. And I know that this probably isn't the most accurate, but I did like it and I was trying to do like a little stylistic approach to it. That was day 11. Rating, I personally give this one a 7. Granted, the end result looks a little bit different, but that's because, well, this next day, which is if you can see that, is Grim Reaper. I had Grim Reaper shredding on a scythe going downstairs, and it says live every day as the motto. This one, I was rushing this one, and it's out of my comfort zone, I won't lie to you, because I did not know how to draw a lot of sceneries and a lot of details, and that's what I want to actually encourage myself to do more. Detail shots, not shots, I'm thinking of pictures. Detail pieces as far as like characters and surroundings and stuff like that. But when I did this one, I was trying to do like the coloring not to be too in-depth, but more like blocky kind of, I don't know the style, but that's what I wanted to do. For example, the stairs came out amazing. Look at this. And then for the Grim Reaper, I should have did more with like pencil, but I did all marker. This one, I give it execution. Like it's the Grim Reaper, so it's 8, but then overall piece I give it a 4. We're now on to day 13. Also, if you look in the corner right here, I did end up putting the date so that way we don't have a repeat of last video where I was going back and forth and trying to figure out what day it was. Anyways, back to the main portion. The Fountain of Youth. This one, I looked up the supposed Fountain of Youth that is a tourist attraction in St. Augustine, Florida. And this was supposedly where Ponce de Leon discovered this. I'm pulling a lot because this is at this point, what, 40 something days ago. I grabbed the picture from Google and then I recreated it with pencil, color pencil, marker, and ink. And I think this one, as far as scenery goes and a little bit more detail, I give this one about a solid, I'll give this one 8. Give it an 8. I wanted to originally draw like a huge fountain, like the base of it with the fountain going like that, something that you see in front of like mansions and everything. But I did not think that that was going to be the best depiction of the Fountain of Youth. But also one reference from like an old painting had a whole bunch of cherubs and elderly sick people being brought to the Fountain of Youth, and then of course they get healed and regenerative and everything. That one, I could have did it that way, but instead I went for this. I want to say it's because I didn't want to do too much details, and I do not try to make these like the predominant part of my day. If you see right here, this is a big painting I've been working on, but that's neither here nor there. That's the main channel thing. Execution, 9 out of 10. Piece itself, I give it an 8. Give it an 8. Now we're on to day 14. Man in the Moon. Okay, so backstory for those that do not know, I used to work for the Walt Disney Company over there in Orlando, Florida, for a brief moment of time. And prior to me going there, at this point, wow, about 10 years ago, prior to me going there and me learning more about the Disney universe and stuff of that nature, especially the parks, this comes from an attraction in the park called Epcot, EPCOT, and the Imagination Pavilion, which is like a section in the park. There's an attraction called Journey into Your Imagination with Figment. There's Dr. Nigel Channing, who is part of your whole tour guide and everything. There's a part near the end where he becomes part of that scene by him being the moon itself. Now, if you know who that is, I think I'm going to put right here a reference image if past future me does it. But this, in my personal opinion, I say the execution of this was 9.5 out of 10. The art itself was about 8.5 out of 10. And the only reason why I'm rating this one so high is because if you look, it has that eerie look. In the short, when I had the rough draft and everything and like the pencil scribblings, it was a lot better. It looked more like it because the coloring was a little bit grayer, but I started using my paint markers. And actually, was it the paint markers I used for this one? I'm double checking. Yes, it was the paint markers and a little bit of graphite and pencils. I love this one. Out of this stretch so far between day 11, 12, 13, 14, this is my favorite. So, Man in the Moon, boom, bam, call it a day. Now, for those eagle eye people watching, you already can tell what the next one is. This one, I made a mistake. This one is Lightning Strike. I did Lightning Bolt in the video, and I meant to say Lightning Strike. And the first thing that comes to my mind for some reason is, something getting struck by lightning. And deep in the recess of my memories and a lot of the cartoons that I've seen, I always get this thought that there's an animal, like, a protagonist, two characters. One's like, if you will, Timon, Pumbaa, two stupid dogs. I don't know their names actually, but two characters, and one of them is like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this Pinky and the Brain. And one of them always thinks that they know the biz. Going back to it. So I'm going to try to give you a little bit clearer shot for those to try to read it. There's a lot to pull from this one. So the whole comic is this. You have the protagonist underneath here. These are the caption bubbles for each of them. This cat's right here. The one that gets struck by lightning, not shocked. And the other cat's hidden here. Only thing he sees is the eyes. And then you have the cat here that says, I told you. And then, of course, the other one's a smoldering ash pile of what they were. As far as it says, for like little details, here it says a newspaper, and if I remember correctly, I put the rain forecast 100%, and it has like the lightning strike here. What I wrote on here was a random scribble that if you actually read this, it makes you're amazing, good job, or something like that. I believe so. What this cat is saying is bots Paper says it's gonna storm pretty bad. We should. And then the other cat is like the wise crack one. It's like, so's what's gonna happen, and then gets cut off by getting struck by lightning. And the other cat underneath newspaper is like, shocked, no pun intended, is like in a state of shock. This one says, I told you, sorry, so's I told. And then this one said, if you finished that thought, use dog food. And it says sorries. Cat smoldering. I had this pre-notion. I'll turn it this way for y'all to look at while I explain. I wanted to execute this originally as a one-shot panel, like just one shot. This is what happened this entire scene. And then I thought about doing, in my eyes, a 3-shot panel, beginning, middle, end, like a Garfield comic strip. But instead, I did it like this, as a more of a comic book page. It has a story, like you have the two characters, the action, and then the resolve, which is still broke up into 3 segments, but this one has more of a dynamic conversation and keep in different portrayals and perspective. This one took a lot longer than I wanted it to, but I'm glad I did take the time for it. I used color pencil, I used the alcohol-based markers, as well as did I use paint markers for this one? I did not use paint markers. I just used ink pen, paint marker. This is about to cut off. Give me 1 second. Okay, and we're back. We are back. Cool. Mic sync. For a lightning strike, I give this one 10 out of 10. Execution was 10 out of 10. The art itself, this was one of my most feared pieces because I'm not very well versed in the comic book art or style. Actually, let me take it back to the whole execution and the art style. I give this one a 7. Execution was 10. Like, I got the point across, lightning strike, boom. But as far as for the cat, like, if you look, this cat changed from this down to this. If you can't tell, my anatomy is terribly off. I was trying to do like a 3/4 angle, so that made weird body language thing. Here, when I was inking's not my favorite. The inking got really weird on this cat, and to the point where it's like, ooh, that's kind of off. This I made, like, the cat got struck by lightning. It's cool. Smoldering ash pile, not too bad. If I were to have done this differently, I probably would have done the thought bubbles clearer without adding too much color to it. I just wanted to try to make the amount of color, I guess, more vibrant. Now we're on, that was day 15. Yeah, yep. Day 16. I did not post this one to my Instagram. I am posting these to the various platforms because why not? This is a goddess. This is of my beautiful fiance, who I did not give enough justice to. I was going for like the Roman Greek mythology kind of sort of thing, and I portrayed it upon her. But what I messed up when I did this one was I was trying to do it in watercolor because my good friend Jamie and Jennifer took me to an art store. Sorry, I'm just rambling and thinking about this out loud. It was with these. Are they in reach? I hope it is. I don't know if it is. Oh no. Did I leave it here? It is definitely in the art supply closet. Yep, it is. It was a set of Japanese watercolor paints, and it was like gold, metallic, and everything else. I want to redo this piece as a genuine like art piece and try the watercolor separately because I feel like I can do so much better with this. And also, just the beautiful goddess says, my fiance, my best friend, I want to do it accurately and do it for her. I was doing like a sunset kind of sort of thing and giving glow off, which now that looking at it, there's not that much going on. There's a lot of, let's see if I can get it on camera for y'all. You can see the metallics, but I feel like I could have done better, honestly. Because it's her, I give it a 10 out of 10. But for the execution and for the art style, I want to give it a solid like 6 out of 10 for both of them. Because I could have done better, could have done more with my inking. I could have done more with clothing and learning how to properly drape it. This next one, if I remember correctly, this is with my paint markers. I use gesso to cover it, that way it doesn't seep through. The prompt for this one, what is this one? Psychedelic. Okay, it is psychedelic. I am really happy how this one came out, except for my inking and my continuous line work, because the markers I use have a brush nib, so it fluctuates depending on how you hold it. If I were to rate this one, I'll rate it first. I give execution 8 out of 10. I give the art style 5 out of 10. The pencil's off a little bit. The lines themselves kind of get distracted by the unwaveringness of it. But if you look at it, there's a face. I don't think anyone really caught that. But right here, there's the nose, the mouth, the eyes, the ears, and then the jaw. I was trying to keep this as subtle as possible, and then of course little squiggles. I would redo this one as actual paint, probably using just a little bit better control. I would love to do this particular spread right here, these two, as individual pieces. That was day 17. We're actually almost done, so thank you so much for watching, by the way. Ooh, actually, this spread might have it beat. Okay, a view from the top. There was plenty of ways I thought about doing this one. Now that I realize this is probably crooked for y'all. Oops, sorry. View from the top. So, there's a lot to digest in this one. But this was me holding my tripod and my camera up above me at profile 0.5, looking up like this kind of sort of thing. This one, I loved how this one came out. I love the shading and the cross hatching and using the red to kind of be the outline. It gives it a little bit more character. Honestly, like I have my computer, I have the lamp, I have the posters, the tripod that I was holding it, the table, my art supply stuff. I know I'm kind of peeking on the next one. The mat, the paints, and the window and everything. This one I give it 10 out of 10, and I give it 9 out of 10. Could probably done a little bit better with some of the other stuff. For example, this is a blanket. I think perspective would be the next part I had to work on. Like the dresser had to go down just a little bit more, and making it a little bit 3D or not 3D. That's kind of what I was running into. So that one was fun, and that was actually day 18. Day 19, a masquerade mask. Of course, if you can't tell, this is good old me wearing a masquerade mask, and I was messing around with the color pencils and some cross hatching, and the back I used a paint marker. This one I give it execution 9 out of 10. Art style I give this one about a 6. Now that I'm looking at it, I was gonna rate it higher. The mask that came out well. This was well. What I messed up was the proportion of my hand. If I would have made that a little bit bigger, I think I could have made it a little bit better. Lips are always weird for me, so that's kind of funky. And then as I got away from the mask itself, I started losing more detail. And I guess I kind of contribute that to making the attention pull to the mask and not anything else. But yeah, this is my second favorite spread. This one would have won if this was a little bit better. But you guys can be the judge of that. And that was day 19. Oh, and we're on day 20 already. Wow. This one here, I was very torn. And this is Poseidon. I remember doing this one, and the sketch changed so many times. It went from me creating him in like a pose with the trident, throwing it, and then standing on a rock with it, sitting in a throne. I think to the point where the paper started actually tearing a bit. And that's why I ended up doing this one with gesso, and I ended up using the paint markers. This one was not too bad, but I felt like I may have overworked this one because I was also, final reference was a statue of Poseidon himself. And so I have this beard, he's very wise and stuff like that. He has his hair, and the crown kind of got lost within it. That I feel like I should have did a little bit better. The trident was an afterthought, but it got the point across. I wish I would have did maybe something right there to signify that that was the hook. And then of course the murkiness of the sky and the water was okay. This one probably should have been darker looking back at it now, and the sky should have had some sort of light. But yeah, this one overall, like execution and art, I give it about a 7. All right. And that is day 11 through 20. Thank you so much for watching. That's my deep dive. What was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Once again, thanks so much for watching. If you are supporting the main channel or the shorts channel or behind the scenes, thank you regardless. If you made it this far again, thank you. Other than that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, love, and hot sauce. That's my sign off on my main channel. So I guess this is the sign off now. Could do that much better. All right.